Welcome back, everyone. We have our special guest here, Barrak, and I love when we actually are able to have him on. So, everybody, welcome, Barrak, for sure. Thank you for coming back, Barrak. Good
Oh,
to have you back on, man.
yeah, good to be back on. I finally got me a little setup here, so my audio's a little bit better
Yeah,
than it's been in the
yeah.
past. And I
Yeah,
listened to Giphy, get this, get that, and get the other thing, and you know,
yeah,
so
man. Yeah, I'm actually using my test cam also because of where I'm at right now, just to make sure I get the good audio. So, yeah, so fam, the past two videos that I released was on the subject of 70 AD and the Sermon on the Mount and how that collates with our day, and how that is bonded with our reality. And just like before, we discussed and we discussed that the Old Testament, just because it's called the Old Testament doesn't mean it's really that old. It's actually it actually all bonds and welds to who we are, the players that we are. And that's one thing that Barack would always say is that if you don't know the players in the Bible, then you just won't understand it. And a lot of people, when they leave religions, they end up um, what is it? Hating God, hating the Bible, and just turning away from it.
yeah. So when you do that, when you turn away, the purpose of religion when you walk away is to get you to keep walking away from God, because they put themselves into a place where they become God.
Right,
And you don't think of it. You think, well, this is a way to God, but what really it's a roadblock to God. You got direct connect. You know, there's but one mediator, and that's Yeshua,
right,
Mashiach. So that being said, these people are literally in your way, and they're parading themselves as God. If you don't listen to me, then you're not listening to God. But that's not what was said. Even Jesus, you didn't have to necessarily listen to him. He had disciples and apostles and these different people. You could listen to them,
right.
right? But
Yeah,
they were only showing you the way back to him and back to the Father. If they preach it, instead they tell you, you got to listen to me. And what I say goes. And if you're not listening to me, then you're not listening to God.
right,
This is why he
right,
warned that these people would even want to sit in the seat of Moses, because Moses was a mediator between God and the Israelites. Like, but when Jesus came, he took the same position. And you always knew who these people were. There was no self proclamation, right? In other
right.
words, they didn't get appointed. Moses didn't come down off the mountain and say, "Hey, God appointed me." When he came off the mountain, they knew he was appointed, right? They
That's
didn't have
right.
to. He didn't have to beat his chest. Oh, it's me, it's me, it's me.
Right, right, right. Yes,
So when Yeshua came, did he have to? He didn't have to tell people, "It's me, it's me, it's me." They knew. They knew by his works. They
they
knew
knew.
by the way he walked and talked that he was sent.
You know what? Since you mentioned that, there was something I was studying, and a lot of people don't know this, but in the first Ten Commandments, if the viewers, if y'all watching, you can go to Exodus, and if you go to Exodus chapter 20, and you look down, the reason why the first Ten Commandments are so popular, chapter 20, and if you look right there at 11, verse 11, then you got, the 10 commandments starting here, 12, 13, 14. Thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal. This is why the 10 commandments are so popular. It's crazy is because in verse 18, the people are afraid and stand far away. So the first 10 commandments was given to everyone. And all the people in verse 18, and all the people saw the thundering and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. but let not God speak with us lest we die. They were so afraid of what they were witnessing that they had Moses go up. And that's why a lot of people get confused about the commandments, is because, they don't realize that the first 10 commandments was given to everyone, but they were in so much fear that they couldn't handle it. And then right here, and the people stood far. That's in verse 21. And in verse 22, and the Lord said unto Moses, thus thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, yea, have seen that I have talked with you from heaven. So, in other words, that was proof that that was the real God that they were talking to. So it was crazy what you just said, but yeah, that's one of the reasons why the Ten Commandments is so popular.
Right.
Moses was the mediator
Yeah.
between
And
them.
so, people, they get caught up in the religion and the hype and the this and the that. It's like somebody can sing good. Oh, they must be closer to God than me because they sing well, or they can play an instrument well, or they, in the choir or the church band. These people must be holier, and the guy speaking to you, they
Right.
could speak so eloquent and stuff like that, but they're not giving you the message that you need. Yeah, it sounds
Mm.
good. And they'll talk about topics like faith, love, kindness, long suffering, money, why you don't have any, all these things. They can give you all those things, but they're not telling you the story of the Bible. They have no interest in that. Because they tell you the story of the Bible, many will fall away because they don't want to really hear that.
Right.
People want to know prosperity. What am I going to get? I'm going to be
Right.
rich. I'm going to be famous. Because a lot of times we look at these famous people and think that they're being blessed by God, and
Right.
they're not. If you really talk to people that have really hit fame and famous, they're just as entrapped and as enslaved as anybody else. Money doesn't free you.
That's right.
Only the salvation of God frees you.
That's
This
right.
other stuff doesn't free you. Money doesn't free you. Then you become a slave to money because you become accustomed to a lifestyle and lavish things. But you got to do things for those things. Those things don't come free, and they don't come just because you're talented. There's probably just as many people that have walked away from fame, knowing what they have to give up for it, that have stayed with it and stuck with it and sacrificed themselves. They've had to sacrifice the people around them.
Yep.
There's a lot of sacrifices that you make
That's
for it,
right.
and
That's
you
right.
listen to people and how much they regretted it. Fame is not what you think it is.
That's
Oh,
right.
I get to be a star. No, it's not that.
There's a
It's
price to
not what you
pay.
think it is. Always a price to pay.
Always a price to pay. Yes, that's
You
right.
know.
Tell me, your thoughts on the faithful and discreet slave. So a lot of Jehovah's Witnesses or ex-Jehovah's Witnesses right now, they're watching the channel, and I like the way you put it with your analogy and what the actual faithful and discreet slave is, and what it should be according to the scripture. What is your thoughts on the title faithful and discreet slave that the organization took on, in comparison with its members and with it, itself, the
Okay.
entity?
Yeah. So what they did was they took a parable of the faithful and discreet slave and turned it into a hierarchy within the organization, so that they became the slave and you became nothing. If you notice, everything has a ladder, but there was really no ladder when it was the apostles. Because if you look at the way that the apostles did things, right,
Right.
and even Yeshua himself, they all had to put themselves in all the danger that the faithful and discreet slave, as the witnesses describe, they put themselves in danger. Yeshua himself put himself in danger. All the apostles put themselves in danger up until death. They all had to face these things. Paul faced shipwreck. You know, all these different people in all these different instances, people put their lives on the line. So how is this group of people better than Jesus?